In this section, we're looking at sequences and series. And the first page of our notes here, we're looking at just some terms, some terminology for sequences and series. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is what's a series. A series is the sum of the terms of a sequence, which is called a series, is written using some summation notation. And the symbol, which is noted here, is the Greek capital letter sigma, is used to indicate a sum. So we have two types of series. We have a finite series. A finite series is a summation of a finite number of terms, meaning it does have an end. But an infinite series has an infinite number of terms and an upper limit of infinity. So it doesn't end. So we're going to be looking at giving some examples of what's a finite series and what's an infinite series. So before we move on to the other terms, I want to talk about this Greek letter sigma and what it stands for. So here we have the sum of I is equal to, the sum of x of 1, where I is equal to 1 to n. And I want to look at the parts of this summation. Now, what we do have right now, we see that what's noted is the summation sign. The sigma, Greek letter, capital letter. And we have the summation notation. Or we can say summation element. Or another way to look at it is a formula for the terms. The n, and I'm gonna definitely give some examples after we cover the terms. The variable n represents the stopping point, which is the upper limit of our summation. And then we have I is equal to, I being the index of our summation. It is the letter used in the lower bound of our summation. And then this number 1 is our starting point. Now, our starting point doesn't have to be 1, but this is what we called our lower limit of the summation. Okay, so we're going to be talking about each of these and what it represents. We're going to do some examples, but I definitely want to start off when we see the Greek letter sigma, the upper case letter. It does mean sum. adding. So let's look at the other terms that we're going to be covering in this section here. Sequence. A sequence is a function that has a set of natural numbers. Natural numbers are positive numbers. Okay, beginning with 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as it continues, but it's a set of positive numbers as its domain. We have two types of sequences. We have a finite sequence. A sequence is a finite sequence if the domain is the set of 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. N represents the natural numbers. And an infinite sequence is a sequence that has a set of all natural numbers as its domain. So we're going to be going into um, what type of sequence that we have here that exists. And then also that we're going to be talking about in this video or the notes here, converges. What does it mean? It says if the terms of an infinite sequence gets closer to some real number, the sequence is said to be convergent or to converge to that real number. So as we get to some examples, you definitely will talk about this a little bit more. And then diverges, a sequence that does not converge to some number is divergent. So those are the vocabulary words or terms that we're going to focus on in this particular section. So we're going to move on to our first example.